gradient of a line. Let's have a look at how to work out the gradient of a line. So the gradient of a line is where we measure how steep a line is in maths. You'll be using this skill when looking at equation of a line or just looking at straight line graphs in general. So a few formulas that you might hear or see. So the first one is, some teachers may say rise divided by run. That's a popular one. Or some might say change in y divided by change in x. That's the most popular one. It can be written a different way. So it could be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay. Now you might be wondering, well, what's the y2 and the y1 for? Well, that's because you're going to have a set of two coordinates. I'm just going to make this up, 6 and 4, 3 and 2. That would be your first x coordinate. That would be your first y coordinate. That would be your second x coordinate. That would be your second y coordinate. This one, or these two, are the most popular ones that you might see in textbooks. So again, it just depends on which formula you have been taught, or which textbook you're looking at, or which website you're looking at. So let's have a look at working at the gradient of a line then. I've got a line here. I'm just going to erase that out. Right, okay, so let's have a look. What we need to do is we need to find a coordinate on our line. So it has to lie on that line. So for example, I can't pick, oops, let's try to erase that out. I can't pick 4, 1 because that coordinate doesn't lie on my line. I need to pick another coordinate that lies on the line. So I can pick, for example, I can't pick this one either because I actually don't know what the exact coordinate for that is. I can guess what it is, but I don't know the exact coordinate. So the point that I am going to pick is this one here. That's the exact coordinate, and that's an exact coordinate. So we are going to look at, I'm going to use change in y divided by change in x. When you've got your two coordinates, I want you to join them up like this with a little triangle. What's the difference between the x coordinates? Well, is this one here, isn't it? The x, the difference here is that, well, that's from 0 to 1, so that's 1. The difference between y is between 2 and 5, which is 3. So it's change in y, which is 3, divided by change in x, which is 1. So what's 3 divided by 1? It is 3. So my gradient of this line is 3. Okay. Let's have a look at another example. This one here. So again, I'm going to look at change in y divided by change in x. Okay, so again, pick two coordinates. Now, I'm going to just pick this one here and this one here. I'm going to join that up to make my triangle. The difference between the x's, well, it goes from 0 to 2, so it's 2. And the difference between the y's goes from 4 to 6, which is also 2. So I can do 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So my gradient is 1. Well, if I use the red pen to show you that this would be exactly the same if I was to use another two coordinates. So I'm going to pick this one first and this one. If I draw myself a little triangle there, that difference there is 1, that difference there is 1. So 1 divided by 1 is 1. So as long as you've picked two coordinates that lie on that line, it doesn't really matter. Your answer will still be correct. Okay, let's have a look at a few of the examples. So let's look at this one here now. So this one, you can automatically see that it's different to that line there because it's the opposite direction. Well, this line is going downwards, downhill, so that means that it's going to have a negative gradient. Whereas the previous two examples which we looked at, the lines were going upwards, they are positive, okay? So that's why that's +1 and that's +3. This time our gradient is going to be negative. So you do exactly the same thing. We are going to do change in y divided by change in x. So again, pick two coordinates. I'm picking this one here And then I'm just going to pick that one there. Again, draw your triangle. Doesn't matter. I can draw my triangle this way, or you can do it the other way. It's up to you. We'll do both in a minute. The change in y here is just 1, and the x there is 3. So again, I do 3 divided by 1, and my gradient is 3. However, remember, don't forget, the graph is going downwards, is -3 then, my gradient, okay? Always remember to look at whether your graph's going to have a positive or a negative gradient. I'm just going to show you with a different colour pen if I do my triangle this way. Again, my x is 1 and my height is 3. So again, I would do 3 divided by 1, which is 3, but it's negative because the graph's going downhill. Okay. One more example of a -1. So here again, so I'm going to pick that coordinate and this one here. Again, draw myself a line there. The x is, the difference is 1, and the height is, well, 0 to 4, which is there. So I'm going to do change in y divided by change in x. Well, the y is 4 divided by 1, which is 4. But remember that a straight line is going downhill, it's downwards, so it's negative gradient, so it's going to be -4. Okay, so this is how you work out the gradient of a line. I hope it was useful. Thank you for watching.